Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang dan selamat datang kepada para partisipan. Kami ucapkan kepada seluruh partisipan SmartTalk Expalm yang terlihat sangat antusias pada pagi hari ini. Boleh untuk partisipan untuk mengaktifkan kameranya selama aktivitas hari ini kita berlangsung. Alhamdulillah, puji syukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa taala atas limpahan nikmatnya sehingga kita dapat bertemu dalam rangkaian SmartTalk Expalm siang hingga sore hari ini. Salam juga selalu tercurah limpahkan kepada Nabi Muhammad SAW, pada keluarganya, sahabatnya, hingga kepada kita selaku umatnya hingga akhir zaman nanti. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Nah, melihat antusiasme yang terpancar dari wajah-wajah partisipan pada siang hari ini, mari kita buka acara ini dengan mengucapkan lafaz basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Selanjutnya akan ada pembacaan tilawah. Untuk itu kepada Kang Amin, kami silakan.
Baik, terima kasih Kang Fauzan. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان صدق الله العظيم.
Alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin. Terima kasih kepada Kang Amin. Semoga hari-hari kita dipenuhi keberkahan oleh Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Dan kepada teman-teman semua, boleh untuk open kamera. Ini masih belum ada yang open kamera nih. Biar kelihatan ya antusiasme yang memang hadir dalam diri teman-teman pada pematerian hari ini. So, Smart Talks ya. Boleh untuk teman-teman partisipan untuk menyalakan kameranya. Mungkin sambil menunggu sesi kita selanjutnya, nih aku mau tanya-tanya nih ke teman-teman terkait acara kita pada pagi hari ini. Nih teman-teman, mungkin teman-teman berasal dari daerah yang berbeda-beda ya teman-teman. Boleh tahu dong teman-teman tuh asalnya dari mana aja sih? Boleh tulis di kolom komentar atau enggak langsung open microphone. Wah, ada dari Ternate Maluku Utara. Wah, Masya Allah sekali ya. Teman-teman sudah antusias walaupun dari Maluku ya. Dan mungkin aku langsung aja ya. Sesi selanjutnya aku akan menyampaikan pemaparan CV dari moderator SmartTalk Expalm pada hari ini. Mungkin untuk panitia boleh share screen CV-nya. Oke, sudah terlihat ya CV dari pemateri kita CV dari moderator kita yang sangat luar biasa pada siang hari ini. Nah, beliau itu bernama Kak Nakia Syahidati, dan Kak Nakia merupakan sarjana ekonomi dari Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Unpad dan mendapat predikat cum laude. Lalu Kak Nakia juga pernah menjadi Business Analyst Intern pada Komite Nasional Ekonomi Keuangan Syariah, lalu Second Most Outstanding Student Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Unpad 2021, dan Kak Nakia juga sebagai Awardee International Business Exchange Student to Adam Mickiewicz University Poland pada tahun 2021. Nah, Masya Allah, luar biasa sekali bukan moderator kita pada siang hari ini. Untuk itu, mari kita sambut Teh Nakia.
Baik, Fauzan, terima kasih banyak atas sambutannya. Oke, berarti ini langsung aku pegang acaranya ya. Oke, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Oke, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang teman-teman semuanya. Sebelumnya aku kenalkan kembali ya, nama aku Nakia Syahidati, biasanya dipanggil Kia. Aku merupakan mahasiswa ekonomi Islam, dan pada hari ini I'm so pleased and honored to be a moderator dan juga sebagai translator di acara Smart 171. Sebelumnya aku mau cek dulu ya, is our speaker today already in our meeting today with us? Udah datang ya? Udah ada pematerinya kan ya? Udah datang belum? Is Mr. Muhammad Al-Sawid Al-Sawabiri? Okay. Okay, so you already here.
Yeah, so there was a little misunderstanding.
Okay.
This meeting was actually supposed to start tomorrow, but I was just called and they basically woke me up, said, "Hey, Muhammad, the meeting is actually starting now, so we need you to join."
Okay, previously I do really want to say sorry because I don't know if there is a mistake today, but I also want to say thank you so much for your participation and for your time to attend this meeting today. Thank you so much.
I'm delighted to be here with you guys.
Okay. Maybe previously, let me introduce our speaker today. He is Muhammad Al-Sawafiri, if I'm not mistaken. Is it right?
Okay, yeah, that's right.
How do I call you? Do you have a nickname?
You can just call me Mo if you want, if that simplifies things for you.
Okay, what's Muhammad or Al-Sawafiri? Which one is much better?
So here's my last name. Muhammad is easier, I guess.
Okay, so I will call you Muhammad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and now he is a senior student that is pursuing his degree as English translation in Al-Azhar University, Gaza. And now he's already meeting with us. And before you start your presentation, okay, before you said that there's a mistake, right? But have you prepared about the presentation for today or not? Maybe do you have any slide to present?
It's almost ready. Yeah, it's almost ready. There's just some things that I wanted to add, but it's not a problem. Like the material that we have should be enough.
Okay, perfect. So maybe before you start your presentation, let me explain regarding the translation works, because the majority of the audience today are Indonesian. To make your presentation delivered perfectly and to make me easier as a translator, maybe after you say like 1 until 5 sentences, you can give me a time to translate everything what you say, and I will directly translate it to the audience. Okay, is it okay for you, or do you have any options?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's fine. I'll give you ample time. I'll just like translate 1 sentence maybe and 2 sentences, and then let you translate them, because we actually have a lot of time.
Okay, perfect. So without any further ado, I let Muhammad Al-Sawafiri to start the presentation, and the stage is yours.
All right, let me just screen share this. I haven't dealt with Zoom in so long. This is
So are you stay in Palestine right now?
Yes. Okay. Before we actually start this presentation, I'll talk a little bit about myself. And I haven't done that yet, but here we go. Okay. Welcome everyone to this presentation. My name is Muhammad Sawafiri, and today I'm gonna be talking about Al-Ibrahimi Mosque. Okay. You want to translate that?
Oke. Sekarang jadi materi yang akan kita sampaikan itu adalah tentang Masjid Al-Ibrahimi ya. Oke.
So I'm a Palestinian. I live in Gaza City. I've been actually living here my whole life, 21 years old now. This is my final year in university before I graduate. And this is actually like my first ever presentation. So like this is like, you guys have the first opportunity to see me actually doing something. So this is kind of an opportunity for you guys to.
Oke, jadi beliau merupakan berasal dari Palestina sepanjang hidupnya dari kecil, dari lahir hingga saat ini beliau juga merupakan tinggal di Palestina dan saat ini beliau juga merupakan final year student atau mahasiswa tingkat akhir di mana beliau menuntut ilmu itu di Universitas Al-Azhar Gaza ya. Dan presentasi hari ini merupakan presentasi pertama yang dia lakukan seperti itu. Oke, continue.
Okay, so this presentation is meant to be informative. I don't want it to be really boring for you guys, so I'm gonna try and let you guys engage with me as much as possible. And we're gonna be talking about the history of Al-Ibrahimi Mosque and some of the important historical events that happened there.
Jadi tema pembicaraan kita hari ini adalah terkait tentang Masjid Al-Ibrahimi dan beberapa hal-hal yang penting yang perlu kita ketahui tentang situasi saat ini itu seperti apa sih di Ibrahimi Mosque. Okay, continue.
All right, so we're going to be starting now, actually. So Ibrahimi Mosque is located in Hebron, a city which is located in the West Bank of Palestine. It's precisely in the southeastern side in the heart of its old town. It's considered an important destination due to its historical and religious importance. If you want, you can start from here so we can do the rest.
Jadi Ibrahimi Mosque itu atau Masjid Al-Ibrahim itu terletak di kota Hebron dan kota Hebron itu merupakan salah satu kota tua yang terletak di Palestina. Nah, saat ini Al-Ibrahimi Mosque atau Masjid Al-Ibrahim itu sangat dikenal sebagai destinasi yang sangat penting karena mengandung banyak sejarah, baik sejarah peristiwa yang pernah terjadi sekaligus juga sejarah religiusitas yang pernah ada di sana. Oke.
Okay, so for Muslims, it's actually considered our fourth holiest site because of the historical evidence, which suggests that Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, resided there approximately 4,000 years ago. This mosque was actually built over the tombs of Prophet Ibrahim and his wife Sarah, as well as his son Isaac and grandson Jacob. It's considered one of the oldest historical buildings in the world in terms of its seniority and sacredness, as its walls have witnessed a lot of historical events throughout the past few thousand years. So we're not just talking about some building that was just built thousands of years ago. No, this building actually witnessed a lot of important events throughout history.
Nah, baik. Nah, jadi sebagaimana yang tadi disebutkan ya, bahwa kota dari Hebron itu sendiri telah mengandung banyak sejarah, termasuk bagaimana kisah Nabi Ibrahim yang telah istilahnya menjejakkan berbagai sejarah ceritanya selama 4.000 tahun gitu ya. 4.000 tahun, maksudnya 4.000 tahun yang lalu gitu. Di situ banyak banget kisah-kisah Nabi Ibrahim pada 4.000 tahun yang lalu. Dan selanjutnya juga Hebron ini menjadi tempat makam banyak para nabi, di mana salah satunya ada Nabi Ibrahim, lalu ada juga istrinya yang bernama Sarah, dan juga anak-anaknya seperti Ishak and grandson Jacob. Okay,
so I'm gonna, this is a picture of Ibrahimi Mosque right here. Okay, so this whole place right here, this is the mosque itself. and all of its surroundings are just parts of the old town. So this is the thing that we're looking at right now is Ibrahim Mosque itself and its walls.
Oke, jadi gambar yang dibulatkan warna merah itu merupakan gambar dari Masjid Al-Ibrahimi sendiri, sedangkan di daerah sekitarnya itu merupakan daerah Old Town atau kota tua. Oke.
We're gonna be looking at an actual video now of the mosque itself and its surroundings. Let me just fix this audio thing. Hold on. Okay. Wait, let's just remove this. Clear. Okay. So this is the mosque, as you can see, and all of its surroundings are just part of the old town of Hebron. You can see how high the walls are. So now we're gonna be talking about. Here we go. Okay. So now that we've talked about the mosque itself, and we've seen a video and a picture of it, we're gonna be talking about the history behind it.
Oke, sekarang kita mulai akan membicarakan terkait sejarahnya.
Yeah, is my voice getting out or am I clear?
Everything is clear.
Okay. So, so during the 1967 Six-Day War between Israel and the Arab states, the West Bank was actually under Jordanian control. And during the Six-Day War, it was seized and occupied by the Israeli occupation forces. Israel decided to divide the mosque, and they repurposed it into a synagogue. They just, woke up one day, decided, you know what, we're just gonna make this a synagogue. I didn't really care about what international law says. They didn't care about what other nations would think. They just decided to do this out of their own head. And this decision obviously led to a lot of tension in the region, as well as more violence.
Oke, baik. Jadi pada tahun 1967, pada saat itu Jordanian itu menduduki daerah West Bank. Di mana ketika Jordanian itu menduduki West Bank, para occupation dari Israel itu mulai menduduki wilayah Hebron itu sendiri. Dan Israel itu decided to divide the mosque and repurpose itu. Oke, jadi Israel itu sudah mulai menjadikan masjid-masjid yang ada di Al-Ibrahimi termasuk gitu ya, kota-kota Hebron itu terbagi menjadi dua. Dan salah satu tindakan yang dilakukan oleh Israel pada saat itu adalah membangun sebuah sinagog yang sehingga membuat para muslim pada saat itu sangat marah gitu. Oke, lanjut.
So with nobody holding them accountable for this faceless decision, they continued with a series of decisions that would even deteriorate the situation and make it worse. So in 1972, they increased the Jewish prayer area. And then in 1975, they made more changes to the status quo, which actually led to more tension, causing Muslim and Arab figures to protest these unaccountable decisions. In response, the mosque was closed, a curfew was imposed on the whole city, and to face these protests, Israeli occupation forces used collective punishment against all the residents in Hebron, and they opted to use violence to face those angry locals.
Nah, selanjutnya pada tahun 1972, akhirnya Israel itu membuat intinya apa ya, banyak perubahan yang terjadi di Masjid Al-Ibrahim itu sendiri, sehingga memberikan tension atau amarah kepada rakyat Muslim pada saat itu, sehingga terjadi istilahnya apa ya, violation atau kekerasan yang terjadi. Nah, pada saat itu akhirnya diputuskanlah untuk ditutup sementara nih masjid dari Al-Ibrahimi Mosque itu sendiri. Continue. Okay.
So this photo here, this guy here, I want you guys to remember this face because we're going to be talking a lot about it. Remember the face of this guy right here, this picture.
Oke, jadi mohon dilihat baik-baik terkait foto orang ini gitu.
Okay, so on the 25th of February of 1994, during the holy month of Ramadan, which coincided with the Jewish holiday of Purim, an American Israeli extremist of the far-right Kach movement, whose name is Baruch Goldstein. He stormed into Al-Ibrahimi Mosque in his Israeli military uniform, and this man decided to open fire at hundreds of Palestinian Muslims who were praying inside. This attack left around 20 people dead, many of them who were actually children, as well as hundreds of injured worshippers. This massacre triggered the boiling point for Palestinians, who in turn reacted by protesting across the West Bank. The Israeli military reacted harshly to those protests, killing another around 26 Palestinians and injuring another 120.
Oke, jadi pada tanggal 25 Februari tahun 1994, di mana pada saat itu merupakan terjadinya itu di bulan Ramadan, akan tetapi hari itu juga bertepatan dengan Jewish Holiday of Purim, atau mungkin suatu hari gitu ya yang terkenal bagi Jewish. Nah, pada saat itu ada seorang Amerikan Israel, we call him as extremist, right? Jadi pada saat itu ekstremis itu bernama Baruch Goldstein. Dia datang masuk ke dalam Masjid Al-Ibrahimi Mosque, kalau nggak salah itu pada sholat subuh, dan pada saat itu dia menembak orang-orang yang ada di dalam masjid gitu. Dan kalau nggak salah beliau melakukan penembakan tersebut ketika sedang melakukan maksudnya rakyat muslim itu sedang sujud gitu. Dan penembakan itu mengakibatkan 30 orang meninggal dunia dan sisa-sisanya terluka, dan most of them who were injured are children, right?
Yes. It's mixed. There are adults and there's also children.
Okay. Jadi pada situasi tersebut ada anak-anak yang juga terluka dan meninggal pada saat itu. Okay, continue.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about this guy and his motives and who he is. Baruch Goldstein, an American Israeli who was born in New York and later immigrated to Israel in 1983. Goldstein started as a physician in the Israeli military, and later he was a conscript and then a reserve. When his active duty ended, he became a member of Kach, an Orthodox Jewish ultranationalist party. He also maintained a strong relationship with Mir Kahan, an ultranationalist extremist who is a member of the Israeli Knesset and well known to Israeli politicians for his racist views. Should we start from here, then we can continue the rest.
Oke, jadi sedikit cerita tentang background dari Baruch Goldstein. Jadi Baruch Goldstein itu merupakan seorang Israel yang lahir di New York pada tahun 1983. Sebelumnya dia juga merupakan physician atau ya orang yang ahli dalam fisika, dan dia pun sebelumnya pernah bekerja sebagai militer di Israel. Dan dia juga aktif bekerja sebagai member dari KAH. So KAH merupakan Orthodox Jewish Ultranationalist Party. Jadi mungkin sejenis sebuah ideologi ya, kalau nggak salah, ideologi dari Jewish gitu. Okay, continue.
So before all of this and before the massacre actually happened, Goldstein wrote a letter which is published in the New York Times. Obviously, you guys know the New York Times. It's an international newspaper. This letter said that Israel, and I quote, must act decisively to remove the Arab minority from within its borders. He was identified as the culprit of an acid attack that also occurred in 1993 inside Al-Ibrahim Mosque, which left giant holes in the carpets, and 6 worshippers were also assaulted as well.
Jadi sebelumnya Baruch Goldstein ini mengirimkan surat gitu ya, yang dimana dipublish melalui New York Times, dan dalam tulisannya itu tertuliskan bahwa beliau mengirim bahwa tulisannya itu adalah dari suratnya adalah must act decisively, jadi harus bertindak tegas untuk mengeluarkan Arab minority dari perbatasan gitu, within its borders. Nah, setelah itu Goldstein juga diidentifikasi sebagai pelaku dari peristiwa masakre atau pembantaian yang pernah terjadi gitu. Continue.
Okay, so 4 years prior to the massacre, an agent of the Israeli Shin Bet Internal Security Agency, which is kind of like the Ministry of Interior Affairs in Malaysia, this agent infiltrated KAH, the party that we just talked about, and he passed a warning to his superiors regarding the danger posed by Goldstein. This agent ascribed a statement to Goldstein, which says, and I quote, "There will be a day when one Jew will take revenge on the Arabs." So the Muslim authorities wrote a letter to Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin regarding the dangers of Goldstein, and they asked for actions to be taken against his daily incursions of Al-Ibrahim Mosque. This all gives us substantial evidence that the Israeli leadership was aware of an imminent attack and still they just refused to do anything about it. So we have the letter, which we just transcribed, and there's also the letter wrote by Muslim authorities to the Israeli government to try and defuse the situation.
Jadi 4 tahun sebelum terjadi pembantaian yang terjadi pada tahun 1994 itu, sebelumnya udah ada peringatan nih bahwa pada suatu hari Jewish itu akan melakukan balas dendam atau revenge kepada para orang-orang Arab gitu kan. Dan Muslim authorities juga menuliskan pesan kepada Israel PM atau Prime Minister yang bernama Yitzhak Rabin terkait tentang dangers tuh bahaya gitu loh dari Goldstein dan tindakan-tindakan yang akan dia lakukan. Tapi pada saat itu Israel menolaknya gitu. Okay, continue.
So after the massacre, the Israeli government formed the Shamgar Commission, headed by the president of their Supreme Court, Mir Shamgar. So the commission was actually named after him. Shamgar was called out by critics regarding his judicial record, which showed consistent leniency towards Israeli settlers. So against Muslims or Arabs or anyone else, he would show he would drill out harsh sentences. Whereas if it was a settler, he would just give them a reduced penalty or just the least punishment that he could give. The commission claimed that Goldstein had acted on his own, and that there was the coordination between the Israeli military, police, and civil administration was problematic. The report also claimed that the Israeli security agencies could not have predicted the attack, despite the information given by the Shin Bet agent prior to the attack. So we have the statements here, guys. We have the letter by the Israeli Shin Bet agent, which said that or transcribe that statement to Goldstein. We know of his letter to the New York Times, and we have the letter wrote by the Muslim authorities, which warned of the danger imposed by this man. Despite all of this, this commission said or claimed that this attack could not have been predicted, and that
Oke, jadi setelah ada banyak bukti ya bahwa sebenarnya peristiwa masakre yang terjadi pada tahun 1994 merupakan sesuatu yang sebenarnya sudah terencana gitu. Tapi Israel mengatakan bahwa peristiwa yang terjadi pada saat itu merupakan suatu hal yang unpredicted gitu, tiba-tiba terjadi gitu. Tapi berdasarkan fakta yang ada sebenarnya masakre itu terjadi dengan sebuah perencanaan yang sangat matang gitu sebenarnya. Oke.
Okay, so we just talked about the Shamgar Commission, which is actually an Israeli commission. Now let's talk about our narrative or our perspective, the Palestinian perspective. So we have a witness. His name is Khamis Khafisha, a 60-year-old retired teacher. Khamis recalls that he was surprised by the absolute absence of the Israeli army from their usual locations during the dawn prayer, despite the clashes between the worshippers and settlers during the evening prayer before the massacre. So before the massacre actually happened, there were some minor clashes between Muslims and settlers, and prior to the prayer, there was a complete absence of Israeli army forces from the area. So we're gonna transcribe his statement now. During the Isha prayer, the army delayed our entry to the mosque for more than 15 minutes and tried to negotiate with us to perform the prayers in a place other than where we pray because the settlers were inside the mosque.
Oke, jadi kita sekarang mau melihat dari salah satu witness atau saksi korban yang pada saat itu ada di pembantaian. Di mana orang tersebut bernama Khamis Kasifa yang berumur 60 tahun. Beliau merupakan seorang guru sebelumnya, dan pada saat itu dia mengatakan situasi-situasi yang ganjal pada saat itu ketika beliau hendak melakukan sholat. Salah satu keganjalan yang beliau rasakan adalah ketidakhadiran dari adanya militer Israel yang nggak ada pada saat itu gitu. Oke, continue.
Due to the clashes, I expected the army to mobilize its troops at the mosque entrances, but when I went to pray, my attention was drawn to the unusual absence of soldiers from their places, he said. Khafisha also recalls the details of the massacre, saying, while prostrating, I heard a loud boom. I thought that an earthquake had occurred, but it was just bombs and shooting. When I raised my head from prostration, my eyes fell on Israeli-American Baruch Goldstein, carrying a rifle and a pistol with completely empty magazines.
Oke, selanjutnya jadi ketika beliau sedang mau sujud, beliau mendengar ada suatu suara, di mana suara itu awalnya beliau kira adalah merupakan bencana alam atau gempa ya, tapi ternyata peristiwa itu ternyata suara itu berasal dari suara bom dan shooting gitu. Oke.
Khafisha said that most of the victims were those who were in the middle rows behind the imam, and among them were children and the elderly. I saw a pool of blood on the prayer mats, blown skulls, and scattered body parts and corpses, including of a child hardly 11 years old, and wounded people calling for help, he recalled. I helped transfer the martyrs and the wounded worshippers through private cars and ambulances until my clothes were soaked in blood.
Oke, jadi saksi tersebut mengatakan bahwa mayoritas dari makmum yang terluka ketika sholat tersebut, ketika terjadi pembantaian, merupakan makmum yang letaknya itu di belakang dari imam, middle rows atau di tengah-tengah gitu ya, di barisan tengah, dan letaknya itu adalah di belakang imam. And among them were children, dan di antara mereka itu merupakan anak-anak dan juga orang-orang yang sudah tua gitu. Dan pada saat itu dia mengatakan bahwa saya melihat seperti lautan darah di mana-mana, di prayer mats, di sajadah, dan adanya tengkorak yang meledak, dan scattered body, dan badan-badan yang tersebar gitu di mana-mana. Oke, termasuk badan seorang anak yang berumur 16 tahun. Dan pada saat itu akhirnya beliau memanggil gitu ya untuk meminta pertolongan. Dan pada saat itu beliau juga memberikan bantuan kepada martyrs atau syuhada dan orang-orang yang terluka. Memberikan bantuan dengan memberikan private cars dan memanggil ambulan dan sebagainya macamnya.
Confucius also said that the settlers burned the mosque carpets, they poured chemicals on it, they brought dogs inside the mosque, and they also attacked and beat worshippers. So Goldstein was not alone. There was actually people helping him. And some witnesses claim that some Israeli troops who came outside the mosque when the massacre happened had actually helped Goldstein. But as we just said, the Shamgar Commission denied all of these claims. They claimed that he had no external help, that he was just acting by his own.
Jadi ketika Goldstein itu melakukan pembantaian, seorang saksi mengatakan bahwa sebenarnya Goldstein itu nggak melakukannya sendirian, melainkan dia bekerja sama dengan beberapa military atau orang-orang Israel yang ada pada saat itu gitu. Tapi semua hal itu seperti di-denied atau denied itu tidak dibenarkan lah atau ditolak ke faktanya gitu. Padahal sebenarnya itu faktanya. Oke, continue.
So when the Shamgar Commission was formed, harsh military decrees were issued against Palestinian Muslims, in which the mosque's area was divided into two. One was for the Muslims and another was for Israeli settlers. Hundreds of military checkpoints were also deployed, consisting of concrete barriers made of iron walls manned by Israeli military personnel. Entire streets, such as Shuhada Street, was also fully closed by military orders, limiting the Palestinians' right of free movement.
Setelah terjadi pembantaian, maka masjid itu dibagi menjadi dua, di mana satu wilayah adalah untuk Muslim dan satu wilayah lagi untuk Israel. Dan pada saat itu banyak militer yang akhirnya dikerahkan untuk menjaga masjid tersebut gitu kan. Dan terdapat intinya pembatas yang sangat jelas di mana terbuat dari iron walls untuk memisahkan antara wilayah Islam dan juga wilayah untuk Israel. Continue.
Okay, so I want to hear your opinion now, guys. Just basically everything that we just talked about. I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear your questions, any notes that you might have.
Okay.
Obviously, the presentation is not finished yet, but this is just kind of a little break to talk about things.
Oke, sekarang Muhammad mau mengajak diskusi nih ke teman-teman. Menurut teman-teman setelah mendengar peristiwa masakre atau pembantaian yang pernah terjadi tadi, apa sih pendapat teman-teman terkait peristiwa tersebut gitu? Apa pendapat kalian? Mungkin ada yang mau berpendapat?
Don't be shy, guys. You can talk. It's okay.
Yeah, of course. Oke, mungkin ada yang mau berpendapat nih terkait okay, there's someone that is writing on the chat box. Ya Allah, sadis banget, Israel bisa menembak orang yang lagi perasa. So she said that it's very tragic to see how bad Israel were when they tried to kill the Muslim when they were praying, right?
Yeah, so actually there was a note that I wanted to say. I don't know if I said it during the presentation, but when Goldstein actually went inside the mosque and he started shooting at people, he waited precisely for the moment until they did sujood, and then until they did sujood, and then he started shooting at all of them.
So, jadi Muhammad mengatakan bahwa sebenarnya memang goal stand itu menunggu sampai akhirnya ketika sholat itu mereka lagi sujud tuh baru ditembak. Jadi memang momen yang ditunggu goal stand itu adalah ketika sedang sujud, seperti itu. Okay, so is there any one of you want to give an opinion again? Or maybe want to ask a question, right?
I have a lot of people here, so I'm sure we can get one or two more questions.
Okay, if there anyone who wants to. Actually, maybe most of people also watch our webinar from the YouTube, so we cannot hear maybe their opinion also.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the final part, kind of, which is not really prepared. So I'm just gonna be mainly not reading because there's really nothing to read. Okay, so let's talk about the modern day, the present day. What's going on? Al Ibrahimi Mosque. You might think that things might have gotten better by now. We had the Oslo Accords in the 90s, which kind of drew a peace vision between Israelis and Palestinians. But I'll surprise you and tell you that no, things have only just gotten worse.
Oke, jadi sebenarnya international bodies sebenarnya sudah misalnya memberikan meyakinkan bahwa sebenarnya orang-orang Palestina itu bisa mendapatkan rights mereka. Tapi sebenarnya hal ini tuh masih istilahnya belum benar-benar terlihat lah gitu. Oke.
Okay. So for this month alone, at least for June, there were 73 violations of international law that happened in Al Ibrahimi Mosque by the Israeli authorities, and those were just recorded violations. Some of these violations, we're going to be naming some of them. Sorry, hold on one second. This is okay. So some of these violations include raiding the mosque by military personnel. Some of these violations include stubbing the adhan at Al Ibrahimi Mosque 50 times. We're talking about 50 times during June that Israeli forces prevented the adhan from going. They also continue to block roads leading to Al Ibrahimi Mosque in order to reduce the amount of Muslim prayers that come. They also put restrictions inside people who go and pray inside the mosque by limiting the amount of by limiting the times in which they can actually enter the mosque.
Di kondisi saat ini Masjid Ibrahim ini orang-orang Palestina saat ini tuh mengalami banyak hal-hal yang dilarang oleh Israel gitu, seperti misalkan dilarang untuk melakukan ibadah, atau dalam artian bukan dilarang ya, tapi memiliki batasan dan tidak sewenang-wenangnya bisa masuk ke dalam masjid. Jadi ada waktu-waktu tertentu di mana mereka baru diizinkan untuk memasuki masjid, seperti itu. Okay.
Okay, so there's an ongoing Judaization plan or process that's going on. Generally, not just in Al Ibrahimi Mosque, but also Al-Aqsa Mosque and most of the important religious sites in Palestine. What do we mean when we say Judaization?
Okay, let me translate it. So, apa yang terjadi di Hebron, terutama pembatasan untuk beribadah orang Palestina di Masjid Ibrahim itu sebenarnya nggak terjadi di Hebron aja dan nggak terjadi di Masjid Ibrahim aja, tapi juga terjadi di beberapa holy sites Muslim seperti misalkan Al-Aqsa dan sebagainya macamnya. Oke?
I want to see if anybody from the audience can actually answer if they know what Judaization is.
So maybe ada nggak sih dari kalian yang tahu sebenarnya apa sih yang dimaksud dengan Judaism?
Judaization, not Judaism itself. So
Judaization.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I don't think they'll be familiar with the term itself, so I'll just
maybe you
talk
can
about it.
explain
Okay.
it.
Okay. So Judaization is basically when um, the Israeli government assumes control of a property that once belonged to Muslims, and then they transfer the ownership of this property to a Jewish Israeli, for example, turning this property that was once Muslim into a Jewish property. Now, they do this with really important historical and religious sites, such as, the mosques, parts of the Old Town in Hebron, uh, Jerusalem. Most of it has been Judaized. They would figure out legal loopholes to transfer the ownership from a Palestinian Muslim to an Israeli Jew.
Jadi okay, I'm a little bit have hard to pronounce Judaism. Okay, can you explain? Can you repeat again the name? How to pronounce it perfectly?
Judaization.
Judaization.
Judaization, yeah.
Judaization. So, okay, Judaization basically itu merupakan upaya pemerintah Israel untuk menguasai aset atau harta benda yang dimiliki oleh Muslim. Dan Israel itu menganggap bahwa properti tersebut itu adalah milik mereka karena beberapa aset tersebut itu memiliki sejarah yang penting juga untuk orang-orang Israel. Okay, continue.
Okay, so this process has been going on for a very long time. Huge parts of the Old Town in Hebron, which we just saw in the drone footage, is actually now belonging to Israeli settlers. This policy is not just restricted to private properties; it also extends to the mosque itself. So they turn they have these infrastructure projects or these construction projects which turn bits of the mosque and change them into Jewish bits, basically.
Oke, jadi pada saat ini kan sebenarnya harusnya Masjid Al-Ibrahim itu is not belong to them, sebenarnya bukan milik mereka gitu, tapi para Israel itu melakukan banyak konstruksi dari masjid tersebut seperti membangun beberapa proyek-proyek perubahan di dalam masjid, seperti itu. Continue.
Okay. Just 1 second, I'm trying to find something. Okay, so on top of all of this, so we have the road closures that we talked about. We have these Judaization plans. We have the restrictions that are imposed on the worshippers inside the mosque. All of this is just getting worse by the moment, actually. Like, there's no real international accountability for any of these decisions. Nobody's holding them accountable. Nobody is really talking to them about it. And the Palestinian Authority actually addresses this on a weekly and monthly and yearly basis. Even at UN meetings and summits, they talk about these violations, but obviously there isn't really a reaction from the international community.
Oke, jadi dikatakan bahwa semua peristiwa yang terjadi setelah pembantaian, lalu adanya pembatasan yang Israel lakukan kepada Palestina, dan saat ini semua hal itu semakin memburuk gitu. Dan dari pihak internasional sendiri belum ada reaksi yang jelas dan pasti terkait apa yang harus mereka lakukan gitu terhadap pembantaian yang pernah terjadi ini. Dan rasanya semakin tidak adil untuk Palestina merasakan semua hal yang mereka hadapi saat ini. Seperti itu. Continue.
That will pretty much conclude the information that I want to provide in this presentation, but I will leave the floor now for any questions or any discussions that you guys might want to have.
Oke, so sekarang kita mulai masuk ke bagian tanya jawab ya. We start to do question and answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe if anyone of you want to ask, you can just put your question on the chat below, or maybe you can just unmute your microphone. Okay, so is there anyone of you want to ask? Okay, maybe during waiting the question comes up, maybe I have a question related our topic today. Okay, so I read the article regarding about UNESCO has declared that Ibrahim Mosque belongs to the Palestinian, and my question is there any continuation about their reaction related their declaration towards Ibrahim Mosque? Sorry?
Okay, so
okay.
So this is not actually the first time that an international body or legal body rules out a decision in favor of Palestinian sovereignty over whether it's Ibrahim Mosque or Al-Aqsa Mosque or any other region in Palestine for that matter. These UN resolutions or international decisions that are made, they just, people agree upon them, different countries agree upon them. But then they just, they pull out a drawer and they put the document inside and they just never talk about it. None of these decisions are ever implemented because there's no real accountability. And nobody can just really say anything about it because of this this delusion that Israel is part of the West and therefore nobody should be telling Israel that they're doing bad things.
Oh, okay. So the conclusion is there is no reaction, even though UNESCO has declared Ibrahim Mosque was belong to the Palestinian, right?
Yeah.
So there is another question from Nadia. She asks that why Goldstein were waiting for the moment of prostration. Why he killed the Muslim when they were praying sujud?
Why did they?
Yeah, like why Goldstein? Okay, why Goldstein waited to kill the Muslim in the mosque when Muslims were praying, especially when they were sujud?
Okay, so he picked this moment, or we can assume that he picked this moment for several reasons. The first being is that obviously during sujood, they're not really looking around, right? You're just looking at the carpet. So you don't really know what's happening. And so when he walked inside the mosque and he decided to open fire when during sujood, they had no idea what was going on. And even if they heard gunshots, nobody would just stand up and look behind and, say, I should run for my life or I should try and do something about this. This is the first reason.
Okay, jadi sebenarnya, jadi so there is no specific answer, right? Why he was?
No. But we can just make assumptions, basically.
Oh, okay. So the assumption is mungkin karena sujud itu merupakan suatu hal yang penting dalam peribadahan, so that's why he waited for the Muslim when they were sujud. Okay.
Yeah. The second reason is, I believe, well, let me actually just double check. Okay, there isn't actually a reason that I can find, but we can assume that the second reason is that obviously during sujud, as we all know, uh, it's one of these moments where we consider it like not the most important, but one of the I guess you could say the holiest moment during prayer when you're actually laying down on the carpet and it just feels like you're talking to God, right? So maybe he wanted to do it in this precise moment as some kind of radical obsession that he had that, I'm just gonna kill you even in your closest moments to God, basically.
Oh, oke. So, jadi mungkin kenapa dilakukan penembakan itu ketika sujud? Karena ketika sujud itu kan kita sedang talking to God dan dia mempunyai obsesi pada saat itu bahwa I will kill you even when you are talking to your God gitu loh. Jadi saya akan tetap membunuhmu ketika meskipun kamu tuh lagi berbicara atau berbincang dengan Tuhanmu gitu. So there's maybe the second assumption, right?
Yeah, and those are the two assumptions that I can think of.
Okay, yeah. I think it's also, understand for me too.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is another question again. It's from Fatimah Radiza. Is Judaization is an Orthodox like Jewish Zionist program, and not all Jews are Zionists? Sorry if I'm wrong.
Okay, so there's a huge difference between Zionism and Judaism, obviously. Judaism is just the sole belief in the religion of Judaism. A lot of Jews don't hold the belief that they should have a homeland in Palestine, or at least many of them think that there will come a time where they can have that homeland, but it's when one of the prophets comes down to earth or something like that. Zionism, on the other hand, is actually a political movement. It's not something that's religious. A lot of people, especially Israelis, try to transform this narrative to claim that Zionism is actually a religious belief, which is, I can safely say that it's not. It's actually a political movement.
Okay.
And when you oppose Zionism, they tell you that you're being anti-Semitic. They tell you that you're actually opposing Judaism when you oppose Zionism. So Zionism is the idea that Jews should have a homeland in Palestine because, Jews lived there 5,000 years ago or whatever.
Okay, so I can conclude that Judaism is like a political movement, right? Yes, Judaism itu jadi merupakan salah satu gerakan yang sifatnya itu adalah politik, di mana Israel tried to took over the asset of Palestinian, right? Di mana Israel itu berusaha untuk mengambil aset-aset milik dari Palestina seperti itu, yang sifatnya adalah political movement. Okay.
So we have from Asa.
Yes, Asa. Okay. Judaism. It's related to the Judaization again.
That Israel has sought to transfer the physical and demographic landscape of Jerusalem to enhance its Jewish character at the expense of Muslims and Christian ones.
I think she tried to give the explanation right.
Yeah. So with all those rude actions they're doing to your nation, I just really want to know, how's your own feeling about it, and what things do you hope and think we can do to help Palestine get back its rights? Well, I can say that a lot of people are angry and upset with all of those actions. But at the same time, I have to mention that a lot of us were born into this reality, including myself. I was born in 2001, way after all of those events happened. And the situation and reality which I was born under had a kind of a new generation, a very new style in war. We witnessed intifadas in early 2000. we were basically told to adapt with this reality. We were just, told that this is what it is. You just have to live with it. People are upset. Obviously, people want things to be better. A lot of people don't want to just sit there and do nothing about it. A lot of people want to fight back. A lot of people think that we can talk about things and try to make them right. But obviously, uh, peace is not something that is mutually wanted. Israel is as much as they claimed that they've wanted peace in the past few decades. Every time we were close to peace, sorry, just one sec. Every time that we were close to peace, they would just, figure out a way to uh, blame the Palestinians and just escape from the process. The Oslo Accords is actually one of the closest examples. Palestinian Authority is still working under the Oslo Accords while Israel is not fulfilling any of the demands that they agreed upon in the Oslo Accords. What do you think we can do to help Palestine get back its rights? Well, the international community is actually really important. And if you're not living in Palestine, this is one of the things that can really help, which is working on the international stage and international media to deliver the correct narrative about Palestine, to tell people what's going on here, and and to convince people, especially people who can make decisions that they're not really doing the right thing by just unilaterally supporting Israel and disregarding the Palestinians.
Okay, jadi if I can conclude, he say that sebenarnya kan semua orang Palestina itu termasuk Muhammad yang sudah lahir dari tahun 2001, lalu adanya generasi yang baru dan sebagainya macamnya, dia hidup di peristiwa yang sangat berat untuk dirinya gitu ya, dengan adanya banyak peristiwa yang terjadi. Semua dari mereka tentunya ingin memberikan tindakan atas apa yang Israel lakukan terhadapnya gitu. Dan sebenarnya hal terbaik yang bisa diberikan and what things you think we can do to help Palestine, dan hal yang bisa kita berikan kepada Palestine untuk menolong mereka adalah dengan memberikan dukungan terbaik ya, seperti can you repeat again what the solution that you hope from us?
If you're not living in Palestine, then the best thing you can do is work on the international aspect by informing people of what's going on in Palestine, and by
seperti misalkan bekerja di bidang-bidang yang sifatnya itu internasional untuk kembali membuka mata dunia gitu tentang apa sih yang terjadi di Palestina. Seperti itu dukungan terbaik yang mungkin bisa kita berikan. Okay, so continue. Is there anyone of you want
I think that's it for this question.
Yeah, okay. So maybe is there anyone of you want to ask a questions again? Okay, maybe I want to ask you about, I forgot whether you already mentioned about this or not. Why Zionists really want to tax the Ibrahimi mosque? Are they thinking there is something important related to the Ibrahimi mosque to them? Like what, sorry, can you explain to me? How important the sites for them?
Just
instead for praying?
Is my internet lagging out or?
Okay, sorry?
Is my internet lagging out or?
Yeah.
Is it from your internet?
Yeah, there's a delay.
I'm gonna try and rejoin the session.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay.
Okay, let me try and rejoin the session. Just one sec. Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay. Can you repeat the question again, please?
Okay. Maybe you can skip my question because there is
No, it's
another
okay.
question.
Oh,
okay. Because there is another question from Fatima Azara. She said that, do you have any website or book recommendation related to the Judaization so we can know deeply about Judaization?
Judaization itself, well, it's not just, one topic, because it happens in multiple places across Palestine. So, for example, you can go on Google and look up Judaization of Ibrahim Mosque or Judaization of Al-Aqsa Mosque or Jerusalem. You will find a lot of articles, a lot of reports talk about it. Yeah.
Oke, jadi sebenarnya itu bukan satu topik yang dibahas secara mendalam gitu. Jadi hanya satu topik itu yang dibahas, tapi memang pengertian dari Judaization sendiri bisa dicari melalui dari artikel-artikel atau topik yang related to it gitu. Seperti misalkan peristiwa yang jadi Al-Aqsa, apa sih relasinya dengan Judaization dan sebagainya macamnya. Mungkin itu yang bisa kita coba cari untuk menambah pemahaman kita melalui situs Google gitu. Oke. So is there any question again? Let me screening first.
So there was a question. I don't know. Was it your question?
Sorry. I don't know. Is there anyone of you wanna ask again? Okay, maybe can you give us the conclusion about your presentation today? Because I think there is no one want to ask again.
Okay, so the conclusion that we can reach today is that violations have been going inside this mosque and around this mosque since it was placed under Israeli control in the 1967 Six-Day War. Muslims have been discriminated against. Their freedoms were limited by the Israeli military. This mosque has been facing Judaization plans for decades now, and it seems that it's only getting worse by the moment, because every new month or every little while, Israel comes up with a new plan to either limit what Muslims can do there, or they just come up with a plan to turn some of these assets and turn them into Jewish assets. So this process is still going on. We need to know what's going on there, and we need to do what we can to inform people around the world of these dangers and these violations. Hopefully, we can do something if we internationally pursue this cause.
Oke, jadi sebagaimana tadi yang sudah dijelaskan ya, bahwa sebenarnya violation ini udah terjadi sangat-sangat lama, dan peristiwa yang terjadi terhadap Masjid Al-Ibrahim ini bukan peristiwa yang pertama, karena kan kita mengetahui juga bahwa Al-Aqsa juga merupakan salah satu aset properti yang dimiliki Muslim dan sedang dicoba untuk dirampas ya istilahnya oleh para Israel. Dan sekarang udah menjadi urgensi dan penting buat kita gitu untuk segera sadar dan memberikan tindakan terbaik kita untuk senantiasa gitu mengingatkan orang lain, menyebarkan informasi bahwa saat ini Palestina itu lagi nggak baik-baik aja gitu kan. Ada banyak tindakan Judaization yang tadi sebelumnya sudah kita jelaskan sedang terjadi saat ini. Seperti itu. Jadi kita harus tetap up to date terhadap peristiwa-peristiwa. Sehingga situs-situs sejarah Islam itu nggak diklaim sebagai milik Israel gitu. Jadi orang-orang tahu bahwa situs-situs Islam itu adalah memang milik Islam, seperti itu. So that's the conclusion.
That's it. We also, talked about Goldstein and the massacre, which is really important.
Oke, jadi tadi juga sebelumnya Muhammad telah menyinggung terkait tentang Baruch Goldstein, right? Baruch Goldstein yang melakukan pembantaian terhadap rakyat Muslim yang sedang melakukan sholat di Masjid Ibrahimimas. So thank you so much, Muhammad, for your time, to give your time to meet this meeting today. And before we close the session, can we doing documentation first?
What do you want to do?
Maybe documentation, like a script, taking photo together.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so maybe it will be controlled by who, Fauzan, or someone else?
It will controlled by Fania.
Okay, so maybe Fania will count down from 3.
Boleh, sama aku Nakia.
Okay.
Ya, boleh open cam ya. Mantap.
So,
Oke, udah ya.
Okay. Is it done?
No, belum.
Okay.
Tangan ketiga ya. 1, 2, 3. Once again. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now.
Okay, thank you, Fania. Okay, so once again, thank you so much, Muhammad, for your time, for your remarkable explanation about Mosque Al-Ibrahimi. Hope every one of us can give our best contribution to help Palestinian. So this is the end of our session. I will hand it back to the Master of Ceremony.
Thank you guys for attending. It's been a really good time being here with you guys.
Thank you so much. Baik, aku kembalikan ke
Masya Allah. Masya Allah, thank you so much for Kak Nakia dan juga Mr. Muhammad. Alhamdulillah, seluruh kegiatan SmartTalk Expalm yang hari ini telah selesai. Semoga materi hari ini dapat membangkitkan semangat juang kita dalam menebar kebermanfaatan. Oleh karena itu, sebelum kita menutup agenda pada hari ini, akan ada pembacaan doa kepada Kang Amin. Kami silakan. Oleh karena itu, alhamdulillah, sebelumnya mohon maaf kalau Kang Amin itu tidak ada, dan mari kita bersama-sama mengucapkan hamdalah, alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, dan ditutup dengan doa kafaratul majlis. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Mohon maaf bila ada kesalahan. Terima kasih atas antusiasme seluruh partisipan siang hingga sore hari ini. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Jazakumullah khair, teman-teman.
Jazakallah.
Waalaikumsalam.